Hello and welcome to the show. Well, I just want to thank you for joining us today. I tell you what, I'm so excited because, this year I've been talking about the power of now. This month is Women's History Month, and we have some phenomenal women. I mean, they are doing it, doing it, doing it. And so today's guest, you're going to meet Mrs. Margaret Johnson Jefferson, along with the honorees, and they are Jewel Austin Cohen, Rachel Jamerson Holmes. And then we're going to have actress on, Miss Dawn Noel. So I'm telling you what, I just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's coming up next. We'll be right back. The Curry Insurance Agency has served the community for over 30 years with hundreds of trained representatives to assist you in selecting health plans. Curry Insurance Agency is the largest marketing insurance group in the state of South Carolina for Medicare Advantage and represents all major health carriers. Curry's motto is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Call the Curry Agency today at 803-536-0889. Welcome back. Our guests for today, we have some phenomenal women. That's all I can say. And all of them are with us. I'm going to start by introducing you to Ms. Margaret Johnson Jefferson. Now, she's with Dress for Success. She is the executive director, Dress for Success, Charleston. And the honorees for this year are Jewel Cohen, Rachel Jamerson, and I should say Jewel Austin Cohen and Rachel Jamerson Holmes. They're on, but there are other honorees, and I'm going to let Miss Margaret Johnson Jefferson tell you all about it. Now, Margaret, that's a whole lot to say. But anyway, it's an organization that empowers women to achieve economic independence by providing professional attire, a network of support, and development tools to help women thrive in work and life. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce you to Mrs. Margaret Johnson Jefferson.
Good evening, Tammy. That definitely was a lot.
Yeah, how about that? Founder. That's right. You're the founder and executive
absolutely.
director. That's
I
right.
am the founder for Dress for Success Charleston. It's been an amazing opportunity being able to serve the women from our community. Yeah. So I want to thank you so much for having, myself as well as our honorees for our Your Hour, Her Power 2022 campaign. And as yourself, you're an honoree as well.
Thank you. I want to thank you for joining us. And I do want to thank the ladies. And I want to start with talking about the programs because Margaret, and I call you Margie, but I'm going to call you Margaret on the air. But I remember Dress for Success and bringing all the clothes and shoes that I had. This was many, many years ago. I mean, it's been almost like 20 plus years.
Yeah, we've been in operations for about 16 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close to 20, almost.
Yeah, I remember because Catherine was a young girl. It's been a while. So Let's talk about the organization and really what you do. It's not just about bringing clothes.
Correct.
Talk about that.
It really isn't. I'm glad you said that, Tammy, because Dress for Success is an organization, and it's just near and dear to my heart. Dress for Success Charleston is a part of the Dress for Success Worldwide, which is a global nonprofit organization, and we have 144 affiliates in 22 countries. And we have served collectively 1.2 million women. And these women today are women that are caregivers and they are mothers. So our whole focus is to make sure that women have the proper tools so that they can succeed, whether it's professionally or personally. And the services that we offer, free professional attire, so that they can sustain employment or attend a job interview, or we provide them with career development tools. Oftentimes we say that, we tell people go out and find a job, but in order to secure that job, you definitely have to have the nice tools, not only the attire, but you have to know what questions you should ask during an interview, how you should present yourself during an interview. And then we also move into providing mentors for our women, because oftentimes you need someone that's going to provide you with some practical understanding about the career path or their career interests. And as you all know, everything has been impacted by the pandemic. So this campaign, Your Hour, Her Power, is just amazing right now, and it is definitely inspired by making sure that women continue to have access. So when women have access to opportunities that can change their life, she becomes powerful beyond measures. So the Dress for Success has definitely committed to that, and then these honorees definitely exemplify success. So, and just to tell you a little bit to date, Dress for Success Charleston has served over 4,000 women from the Tri-County area. And each woman has pivoted toward whatever professional or career goal that she so desires.
Wow, I tell you what, that is phenomenal. I mean, when you think about it, that's amazing. 4,000 women.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Since
means a
our
lot.
inception, it
That means a
does.
lot. So Margaret, let's talk about your hour, her power, because that's your upcoming event. And again, I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to have been chosen as one of your honorees for your hour, her power. Talk about the program, and then I want you to introduce the ladies that are here with us today.
Honorees. Absolutely. During the month of March, we honor women. It's we honor to celebrate groundbreaking women in leadership roles. And women play such a pivotal role in driving corporate and economic gain, as well as social and cultural change, and they deserve to be recognized. So we want to make sure that we have again access. That's key word in this campaign. It's important for so many reasons because it creates awareness about Dress for Success, who we are, what we do, how we make an impact in the community, and it's also a fundraiser. We need to maintain our programs, and then also we want to secure a permanent location. So when you think about Your Hour, Her Power, it again, it's inspired to believe by the belief that every woman has access to opportunities that can change her life. So when you think about that, I think about the honorees. Honorees, they have tremendous success in life, and everyone has worked hard, endured challenges, and the reason why they never quit is and the reason why they didn't quit is because they had the strong belief and desire that they wanted to make an impact in their community. So this campaign is important for several reasons, highlighting women leaders, bringing awareness to Dress for Success, and then also making sure that we raise funds so that we can maintain this program, because we want to make sure that we serve as many women as we can.
Wow. So now I want you to introduce these fabulous women that I've been talking about. These are just a couple of the honorees. And so I
Absolutely.
want you to name the honorees that you have now and then introduce who's coming, who's joining us today.
Okay, so this evening we have two of our honorees with us. We have Jewel Austin Cohen. She's a native of Alwyndaw, South Carolina, and she's the daughter of William and late Minnie Randolph Alston. She's a 1979 graduate of Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Jewel has worked for Berkeley Electric Corp for over 7 years. She's been involved in the community and serving in various capacity. And in 1995, she started her financial services career, where she has over 52 licensed agents. And Jewel is very, very involved in the community. She's always looking to help and serve individuals, empowering them with knowledge and opportunities, again, to have that access to
Yes.
opportunities that can change their lives. And then
Wow.
our next honoree that we have is Rochelle Jamerson Holmes. Rochelle and I have known each other quite some time as well, a little bit more because we attended college together. And
Hmm.
I've known June, oh my gosh, for years as well. And Rochelle is a fashion and interior designer, entrepreneur, and she owns the Matriarch Bed and Breakfast in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Rochelle herself has achieved some major milestones, I mean, in a very young age, that many of us aspire to do, but she did it. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
so she and her husband have been in business for over 25 years. She's a staple in Orangeburg, and I am just so honored to have these ladies here with me this evening.
Yes, and I'm honored that you all could join us. So, ladies, I
Thank
want
you.
to ask you, each of you, I'm going to start with you, Rachel. Talk about when you got the call that you were selected to be a part of this campaign.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Margaret.
My government name.
Yeah.
Tammy, when Margaret called me about this, I was honored. I was floored. I was taken back because, as she knows, that Dress for Success has been dear to my heart for a long time. She and
Hmm.
I have been speaking about me becoming a part of and working with Dress for Success, not just because we were sharing degrees in college for the fashion degree, but I know that how one dresses is pivotal for their confidence
Yes, it
in
is.
anything that they're doing. If they're going for an interview, if they are going in front of human resources, it doesn't matter. But how you dress and how you feel in your clothes is
Hmm.
very important. And so for that, when she called me and I said, rewind that. Did you say honoree? And she said yes. And then when she listed the other women that I'm sharing this special opportunity with, I was just floored. So I'm honored. Thank you
Yeah.
so very much.
Yeah. Wow. And Jewel, the same question to you. What was your reaction?
Well, again, thank you, Tammy, and also Margie for the recognition. I was excited, and because I know how hard Margie works with Dress with Success. When you talk about someone who gives tirelessly, someone who gives sometimes without the income to match the work.
Hmm.
So when I said, Margie, what do you need? Just tell me what do you need, and it's done because I know that her efforts to help others is obvious. And I was listening to what you were saying, the interview process. So you walk in and you're dressed. And then you said, we're going to take a little further. We're going to talk about the presentation and how you're going to make sure you got everything in order. And then the mentorship.
Hmm.
I believe that's more important than anything else because that's so dress with success starts with the beginning, the middle, and the end. So it's not just, hey, put this on and go,
That's
but
right.
it's
Right.
those intangibles.
Hmm.
Because even though the outside, that's what they see first, but
Hmm.
it's what's in the inside that's going to sustain them. And so dressing
Absolutely.
success has been able to do both things. And so I was excited, Ms. Tammy, because again, I'm watching her help others. And so for me to help is just the least I
Yeah.
could have done.
I'm telling you, that's the same way I felt. And so, Margaret, again, I want to thank you for
Now
all
you
that
see
you
why.
do.
Now you see why you all are the inaugural honorees. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
We up
amazing.
first. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. The first cohort, as they would say.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
You know, and
wonderful.
and and so I mean, I'm excited. I was excited about it because I remember Margaret from the beginning.
Mhm.
As you
Hmm.
said, from the beginning stages, and to see it now, and then to be a part, especially with all the women that are in it. I mean, wow! I was like, man, this is a class all by itself. So I thank you for that. And while we're talking, ladies, one of the things that people would want to ask about is about your careers. For instance, I'm going to start with you, Jewel. You're the regional vice president for Primerica Financial Group. You have over 51, 52 agents, I think I heard.
Actually, it's 101.
Oh,
That was an old resume. I
oh,
said, "Oh God, I didn't
oh.
update that." Yeah, yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, come on.
101.
I'm telling you.
Powerful.
I thank the Lord.
Powerful.
I
Yes.
Wow.
thank the
I
Lord.
mean, that is great. That's amazing. And so getting that start in your career, what was that like for you? And just briefly kind of tell us what that start was, because you probably had challenges and it probably wasn't easy. So I kind of want you to inspire some women that are watching.
Um, I'm a child of the '70s, born 1961, and so the era I grew up in, you worked for a job until you retired. So my mother was a school teacher, taught till she was taught in the classroom until 82. Didn't want to leave.
Really?
My father was a AME pastor and worked at the Naval Shipyard. So again, all I saw was them going into corporate America. So that's the example I took. And then in 1995, a couple of things happened. My mother lost 3 brothers in 4.5 months. 2 had cancer, 1 had an aneurysm, and none left wealth. The second thing was my husband and I were making more income than our parents, but yet we had no money for our children's college. I went to Johnson C. Smith and graduated with no debt. And my husband had a football scholarship. But here we are making more money, had nothing saved. And so you sitting there, you're praying for something. Lord Jesus says something. And it came in the form of Primerica. And so again, my start was because I had a need. And then what I did, I reversed it and I made it a need for others because I saw that it helped me and I'm sure it could help other folk. And so I started part-time. In the beginning, because I had my full-time job, it was okay. But when I transitioned to full-time, now here's where the rubber meets the road, where there's no cushion. You have to make it work. And I had so many people who told me, you left your good job. You shouldn't have left your good job. My mother was one of those people say, Jewel, don't leave your good job. And I says, Mama, why? I don't know. Just don't leave your good job. And but I left because I believe that a job is a source, but our Father in heaven is your resource. Absolutely. And so even my husband was a little skeptical in the beginning. And I remember nights coming home from appointments and I would hear him and our children in the house laughing and I turned the key to the door and everything got quiet.
Wow.
I was like, wait a minute, y'all shutting me out. I'm the one bringing this extra income in. But what happened is this, and I'm telling everybody who's listening, if you got a dream, it's your dream. Mm-hmm. It's not for other people to see it at the time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have to stay focused to what God gave you. Mm-hmm. And that's what kept me going. Knowing that there was a vision. I knew people needed to hear the information. I would come home at night on 17. I live in Ondar. There are no lights on 17.
That's right.
And I am crying like, Lord, is this going to work? Will anybody ever follow me? Will I ever get anybody? And crying myself home. And I get up the next morning and I start, because he gave me the energy to start all over again.
Wow.
So if you got a dream, don't let anybody deter you, because that's what people are going to do. They're going to tell you, that ain't for you. That's too hard. Right. But he didn't give it to you.
That's right.
Rachel, I give it to them to give to you.
Yeah, you're right. And that's great. That was one of my questions, career advice. So, I mean, you touched on every point. Rachel, let's talk about you, because here in Orangeburg and across the country, your bed and breakfast is known as one of the top bed and breakfasts. Talk about your start in your career.
Thank you, Tammy. My start started with me as a fashion designer. Mm-hmm. I'm a fashion and interior designer by trade, and at the age of 6. And all of the women in my life poured into me. But my grandmothers, they were my best friends. But they taught me home economics, how to sew, but they instilled in my passion. And Jewel touched on that. When you have a passion and those around you fuel that passion and tell you that you can be and do anything that you want. So when my teachers told me, and this is what I love about teachers, they don't realize how powerful they are, because the words that they speak into children, I believed it. Yeah. And when they shared with me that I could be and do anything I wanted to, then that said to me, whatever my passion and my dreams were, it didn't matter if anyone didn't look like me. It didn't matter if anyone hadn't done it. What mattered to me was that they said I could. And they said, as long as I worked hard, I followed my dreams, stayed focused, that they could come true. And Absolutely. I believed in that. And my parents, my grandparents, my family, they fueled my passion. And so even though right here in Orangeburg, South Carolina, rural Orangeburg, this is not the fashion capital of the world. And so, but they plugged me into New York and California and those areas that the TV, anything that could give me the opportunity for modeling and for fashion and producing, for me to be able to fuel that dream. And so I remember just sitting up at night, taking newspaper, getting on the floor, making my patterns. I would make it tonight and wear it to school tomorrow. Make it tonight and wear it to school tomorrow. So I knew that I had to make a way, but like Jules said, God gives you the energy and the power and the excitement and enthusiasm I had about my dream. That's just what I did every day. And I fueled it. But I knew my audience had to come by. I couldn't pay for models, so I was my best model.
Hello.
There you go.
I made
That's
it,
right.
I wore it. I made my mother's clothes, my sister's clothes, and anybody that would let me. And Margaret remembers in college, I produced the fashion shows and I would gather anybody that wanted to model and wear my garments. And so we graduated from Winthrop University. And Winthrop was the only 4-year institution in South Carolina that offered a 4-year degree in fashion. And my parents almost didn't send me.
Wow.
They almost didn't send me because you see, I was enrolled in South Carolina State University. I was going to major in business and home ec and then go to a fashion 2-year college. Because, like Jules said, during those times, getting a 4-year degree is what your parents wanted you to have.
Right.
And they were not willing to send me out of state to pay 4 times more just for a fashion degree.
That's wow.
And I found Winthrop and I begged them. I literally begged them to allow me. And I sat behind them while they sat with the dean and said, what can my daughter do with this degree besides just working in a retail store in sales? And as she laid it out, I literally tell you, I sat behind them and prayed. And I said, if you allow me to get in here, you never, ever have to worry about me. I will make sure that I make you proud. And once they said yes, it was,
That was
all
history.
That was on and
that was
popping, right?
history. That was history.
Wow.
So, you know, as I think about what may have been my struggles, Tammy, it was, you're too young. At that age, I would celebrate 30 years in business here in Orangeburg this September with Rachel's Island Boutique. But I've been a fashion designer and sewing and designing clothing and consulting since literally the age of 6.
Wow. Wow.
And to be able to say, at 25, I came back home to start something in my community. Because most persons talk about what's not in their community, but I believe in action. And I believe in making sure that I can give back and pay it forward. So I came back to Orangeburg. And when persons say bed and breakfast in Orangeburg and you're Black, why Orangeburg? My response is, why not Orangeburg?
Why not?
not?
That's right.
Why not
Wow.
Orangeburg?
Why not?
That's a
Very
wonderful
good.
story. I tell you
Yeah.
what, you know, ladies, we're running out of time slowly but surely, but I want to make sure, Margaret, and I thank you, Jewel and Rachel, for sharing that advice and sharing your story. But Margaret, I want to make sure that we show the honorees as well. We have
Okay.
pictures that we can show. Can we bring the pictures up? All right, there we go. Wow. Look at all
Phenomenal.
of the women. Look at that. There
Phenomenal.
and look at Anne. When I saw Anne,
I know
I
she told me to
remember-
tell you hello.
yes, consigning women, and all that she has done in the community
Yes,
for
she's done a lot.
everybody. She and her mother,
Yeah.
and I remember when she started that business. So last but least, ladies, and Margaret, I want you to talk about the significant barrier in the career that people face as female leaders. What are some of those barriers that you are hearing about?
Well, the pandemic has, everything has been impacted by the pandemic. So when you think about the stats, the number of women that have lost jobs, women that are still leaving, the workplace, you're having 50% of the women, are still making less income than men, and they serve in the same capacities. So when you think about these staggering, just heart-wrenching statistics out there, you think about, what can we do? And when I think about Dress for Success, you know what? We are the leading global employment resource for women.
Wow.
So when you think of that, so we are perfectly positioned to be able to help women have access, where they're able to build their community, their network, and the services that we provide. So when you look at a list of honorees that we have now, just think that that's just the beginning. So now Dress for Success women have access to these women to pick their brains, to ask them questions. How did you get where you are? What motivated you? Why did you never quit? And I will say, something, Jewel and Rachel, both a common theme. They never quit. They believed in themselves.
That's right.
And like Jewel said, what God has for you is for you, and others don't have to understand. And that's what has really kept me sustainable with Dress for Success. We all have our challenges, but when you think about a woman, someone that that has the potential but never really mustered up, it wasn't because she didn't have the courage. She didn't have that network
Access.
to keep her gun access. She didn't have that.
Yeah.
So this organization, we will have that. We want to have them continue to do that. So this campaign is very important for those reasons. So for anyone that's listening out there, go to our website, dressforsuccesscharleston.org. You can send us a message. Anything that you need. Again, our services. We provide the free professional attire, the mentoring services, and also we help them to build their network.
Wow. I tell you what, ladies, we could talk all night.
I know.
because we all have shared some of the similarities about what it is about being in business, and what it is about starting a business, what it is about just life in itself that may get in the way. But the one key thing is that you never gave up. And that's just like me, never gave up. Studio, boom, never gave up. Okay. I'm just thankful. So, I have one last question for you ladies. And this has to deal with what's next for you. You have like 1 minute, each of you, to tell me what's next for you.
Three new outlets, 3 new Conan Associate agencies throughout the Tri-County, throughout the United States. 3 new.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Rachel.
What's new for me?
What's next?
What's next? Next for me is global access to be able to empower, equip, and inspire, and give opportunities for not just women, but children and men, for the possibilities and opportunities that are out there for them.
That's right.
Wonderful.
Margaret, what's next?
And what's next for Dress for Success is for us to be able to have satellite offices throughout the Tri-County area. And I think because there's a need, women travel to get services through Dress for Success. So we want to make sure that these services are now extremely accessible. They don't have to leave their communities.
Right. Come on to Orangeburg. All right. So ladies, you talked about what's next. 3 words that describe you. I'm going to start with you, Margaret.
I'm flexible, dedicated, and very passionate.
Dedicated and passionate. Okay.
3 words.
3 words. Got it.
I need 5, actually.
I know you can. Rachel.
I'm a visionary. I'm passionate. And I am loving.
And loving. Okay. And last but not least, Jewel.
I am faithful. I am loyal, and I am unstoppable.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Unstoppable. I love it. I mean, I love this. Margaret, you said flexible, dedicated, passionate. Rachel, visionary, passionate, and loving. And Jewel, faith, loyal, and unstoppable. Wow. Unstoppable. Well, I tell you what, nothing can beat that. We're gonna end right
Absolutely.
there. That's it. But ladies, I want to thank you again for being in such a wonderful group. And again, Margaret, thank you for the honor to
You're
be
welcome.
A part of this. And whatever I can do, you just come to bring that satellite here, right, Rachel?
This is part 1. So stay tuned.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So thank you again, Margaret. Thank you again, Jewel and Rachel. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. And many blessings to you.
Continue blessings. Stay safe. God bless. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, listen, you heard it right here on the Tammy Show. Dress for Success, Charleston, talking with some of the honorees, Rachel Jameson Holmes, and of course, Miss Jewel Austin Cohen. And then the founder of Dress for Success Charleston, Miss Margaret Johnson Jefferson. All right. We'll be right back. The Curry Insurance Agency has served the community for over 30 years with hundreds of trained representatives to assist you in selecting health plans. Curry Insurance Agency is the largest marketing insurance group in the state of South Carolina for Medicare Advantage and represents all major health carriers. Curry's motto is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Call the Curry Agency today at 803-536-0889. The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com. Welcome back to the show. Well, I told you we've got a great show planned for you. Got another phenomenal woman. She is, okay, I'm going to start this. She's an actress, a dancer, a model, producer from Philadelphia. She's been on shows and movies like my favorite, NCIS LA, Men in Black 3. She's also produced 2 short films, Shattered Pitch and 22 Years. And I tell you, you talk about a bad person. She is an amazing woman, and I'm so grateful that she could be on the show with us today as we celebrate Women's History Month. So without further ado, Miss Dawn Noel. Come on out, Dawn.
Hey, how do I come out? Oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Well, you know, I don't even know where to start. Actress, dancer, model, producer, NCIS LA. Now that's a big one for me. and just being who you are. Dawn, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to all of these talents that you have. I mean, what happened?
Oh, I mean, how much time do we have? But okay.
Yeah, I know.
I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I started out as a dancer, a modern dancer, classically trained dancer. Went to the High School for Creative and Performing Arts, got my BFA at the University of the Arts. That was my passion. But in the meantime, I was always, in singing class and acting class, doing these little modeling gigs and commercials and stuff like that. And, but I knew as a dancer, I only had a specific amount of time before my body broke down, that it can hold up. So that was my focus. And I've had a wonderful, amazing dance career. I mean, I just so happened because of the lighting be behind my.
I see you.
But I usually don't use this wall. I've done a bunch of Broadway shows from Lion King to In the Heights, Fame. I've toured with Madonna, J-Lo. So I've had a wonderful, awesome career as a dancer.
Wow.
And then, but while I was doing that, I was building my career in New York at the time. I was there for 12 years, doing independent films and building my reel, my footage for when I came out here. I'm in Los Angeles.
Right.
So when I came out here, I was like, yes, I got all my stuff together. And it was like, nobody cared. Nobody cared. It was like starting from scratch. And fine, it's okay. So I started producing my own stuff. Short films. The Shattered Pitch has Chad Coleman from The Wire, The Walking Dead, awesome, amazing friend of mine. I'm also working on another project with him at the moment. 22 Years, which I was a co-writer. I produced it and starred in it. And both of these short films have had amazing responses in the film festival world and got numerous distribution deals. And I'm like, okay, if I can do short films, I'm ready for some feature film, for something bigger, you know. If you can trust me with this small little budget, let me handle a big one. So I have a bunch of bigger projects coming along. So I'm here in Los Angeles. I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I went from like model, dancer,
producer,
actor, producer,
actress,
personal trainer. You know, it's just like you gotta hustle.
Right.
You know, I mean, if that helps, and because I don't know how much time we have.
No, but you know, one of the things that's common with all of the women that have been on and you is that you never gave up. Because see, you moved from New York, and I forgot to tell people, yes, she is in LA. But when I said NCIS LA, you know, but she is out in LA. So you're moving from known to unknown. Did you have family and friends in LA?
No.
Okay. So like you said, it was like, I'm here. What's next? So let's talk about balancing, because as we're talking about all that you do, how do you balance that?
That's a big question, because there's a lot of balancing that needs to happen. Balancing financially, balancing emotionally, balancing spiritually, balancing career-wise. Thank God I have it. Thank you to balance that. I know when I need my downtime for me. I know when I need my friends' time. Let's play some cards. You know, I know when I need, okay, it's time to focus on career. Okay, I need to pay my bills. Let me have a side job. So there always needs to be a balance. For sure.
And you know, and I'm glad you said that, because when young people see someone like you, or women, men, whoever wants to go into acting, who wants to go be a dancer, who wants to be a model, they think it happens just like that. I'm glad you said, you know,
I wish.
Hey, working, listen, I worked as a server myself. I remember my days, you know, working whatever you can do to help make ends meet until you get to the point where you're making the big dollars. And that's a sacrifice. And that's what people don't really understand.
Yeah, I say this all the time. Like, you better love what you do. You better, your passion better be so strong, because it's not easy. And honestly, until I moved to Los Angeles, I never had a regular job. Like, when I say regular, for normal, not an artistic job. I've always worked on Broadway. I've always toured. But when I came here, again, it was like starting over. And nobody cared that I toured with Madonna. And nobody cared I did Broadway shows. And then I had all this work ethic and something to share. It's so political here, and I'm sort of almost over it. So that's why I want to create my own stuff. So I paired with a production company, Rocket Fuel Entertainment. So I want to give a shout out. And we have a bunch of projects that we're working on. Kids Crew, which is an animation cartoon for kids it's based on hip hop, giving lessons to kids and teenagers. We have a horror film and a thriller on sex trafficking. So I would rather create my own than someone dictate to me how my career is going to go.
Exactly.
I have something to say. I started a podcast. It's called Humbled Hollywood with Chad.
Yep, I was going to ask. Yep.
Yeah, with Chad Coleman, who is a dear friend of mine. So we're interviewing lots of people. I'm just a co-host, so I don't have much control over that. I'm not a producer. So, you know, hopefully, and I'm sure it'll get picked up. And we just have conversations, beautiful conversations with amazing people that I just like. One time I cried. Well, I got chills. I'm learning something. I'm asking questions. So that was a beautiful experience. I'm working with Mark Harris coming up. I did a film with him, a comedy called White People Money. So now there's another film he's coming out with. We work well together. It's called Let's Make Eve. And I'm going to go to Belize for 3 weeks. What? Like, I'm like, And the only thing I was like, I don't care about anything. Can I bring my dog?
Oh, God.
Only request. And he was like, yes. I was like, I'll do anything for you. As long as I
So-
bring my dog.
Right, right.
You know, so
Wow.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up, and yeah. So
But we have a clip, and I want to show the video. And I want you to come back after we see the video and let's talk about it.
sure.
Okay.
This is Envy, the seventh daughter of the true order. May all beings be free from tyranny. May all beings fall into depravity.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
You picked a good one. I didn't know what you were going to pick. Out of
Yeah.
stuff I said to you. Huh.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Talk about feeling like a powerful woman.
I'm telling you.
Sure enough did. I filmed that in Hawaii. And obviously we're waiting. The pandemic slowed everything and everybody down. There's a lot of special effects that goes into that. So I actually spoke with one of the producers and one of the co-directors not too long ago. He was like, girl, are you ready? Because this is going to change a lot of things. The question is, will you still want it? And he's like a prophet. And I'm already like slightly on my way out spiritually of things. Like I can go live in a rainforest and climb a coconut tree and be really happy. And he's like, are you ready? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's see where God takes it. Okay. So we filmed that in Hawaii. I fell in love with Hawaii. Like I want to, and I need to live in Hawaii at some point. Okay. About the film. It's about the 7 deadly sins. It's one of many that is going to come. I play Envy. I do martial arts. I have done stunts. So it was awesome to film. Like we were guerrilla styling at like midnight in the middle of Waikiki, like tourist section, red light, go, run in the street, do the fight scene. You know, it was awesome. And I love them. They're hardworking. They're visionaries spiritually and creatively.
Wow.
It was,
and you know, that was my question, Dawn. I was going to ask you about doing the stunts because when you did that kick, I was like, okay, girlfriend got skills, you know, taekwondo, a little jujitsu, you know, karate.
Yeah.
I was like, go ahead. That was wonderful. So let me ask you about your 2 short films, because we talked about Shattered Pitch and 22 Years. Kind of tell us a little bit about the creation and what it means, what they mean.
Shattered Pitch was the first one. That was probably almost 10 years ago. Like I said, I was like, okay, I'm waiting for auditions. I'm not going to let somebody dictate my career. Let me create my own stuff. So I found my writer friend of mine who wrote it. It was a feature film, and I made him shrink it down to a short film, which I would never do to anybody again. But it was a learning process for all of us. I kind of grabbed the friends I knew. Come on, I did a Kickstarter page back then. Kickstarter and like GoFundMe wasn't very big. Now it's too trendy, and like everybody's like, look, I ain't giving $5. You know.
Right.
So we got it made. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did know what I was doing. You know, I got a lot of advice and a lot of favors because composing, I was on tour with Madonna. Let me talk to this guy, you know? And he's like, absolutely. I'm trying to transition from doing, you know, live events from this to composing for film. I got you. So between the favors and it goes both ways. You know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So when this person, the next person is making a film, you need me, I'm there. So that's what Shattered Pitch was about. 22 Years was a little bit of truth and fiction,
Mm-hmm.
but it touched a lot of people. It was about a woman who didn't know who her biological father was and gave him a second chance. So it did really well in festivals, and it touched a lot of people on giving people a second chance, because people make mistakes, and you never know what other people are going through at different points of their life.
That's right. Now you said that. Yeah. You said that. So your podcast, you've already talked about that, but I want to talk to you about who was the woman that inspired you.
I call her my sister. She's not really my blood sister, but I've known her since I was like 8 or 9. And her name is April. And she was the most beautiful dancer to me ever growing up. And she used to dance with Donald Byrd, who has a company. He choreographed Color Purple, and he's just amazing. So not only as a dancer did I look up to her, I looked up to her as a human being. And like in a weird spiritual way, I was like, she's kind of like my soulmate. We knew each other from another lifetime. So in a lot of ways, yes, I would say her. In this lifetime, her.
And you know, you talked about some struggles, and I'm just going to go back to that because I want you to talk to some young people and some women that are looking, that want to go into the entertainment business. What is advice would you give them at this point?
I listened to some of the other ladies, and they talk about their passion and their gift. That's amazing. Yes, acknowledge that. But there's a discipline that also comes along with it. You have to study. You have to know the greats. You have to watch good films, bad films. You have to study. I still don't stop studying. I've been studying my whole life. Just because I toured with and I did this and it never stops. You have to continuously keep growing. And on the flip side, you're always good enough. There's always going to be a political thing. Well, you're just not tall enough. You're not dark enough. You don't speak Spanish well enough. You don't do this enough. There's always some bull crap. Don't take it personal. If you feel like you're not doing enough, create your own stuff. Everybody has an iPhone. You can call up your friend. You can get in touch with film students. There's no excuse nowadays.
That's right.
You either have a dream is not enough. You have to have, and the passion is not enough. I can sit here all day I got passion. I got a dream. And just sit there. You actually have to put it in use. You have to apply it.
You have to work.
You have to put the work in.
Wow.
Constantly. It doesn't stop. And you will keep evolving. My first short film, I was like, and people love it. And then I grew into the second short film, and it was much better. Watch these next films I got. Watch out now.
Let me know. Let me know. I'm ready for it. You know, and now, you know, this is off what everybody else is thinking. I want to know what it's like to work with LL Cool J.
He does lick his lips all the time. And I'm like, can you do it one more time? In my head, just do it one more time. One more time. He's so cool. Like,
yeah.
Even as an actor on set, it's just like it feels like and I've worked with him twice. And it's just like he's checking you out. And I'm like, dude, you're not what's the word? Intimidating me. I'm from New York too. Come on, let's just do this. And it's just cool. He's awesome. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I never looked at him that way. I know.
But as an actor, how was it? What on that set with the other members of the cast? What was it like? The learning experience. What did you learn
with LL? He's not. I mean, don't take this the wrong way.
I know
it's not like I was on set with Meryl. I have been on set with Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, right? I get
and
you.
I'm like, I can't move.
Or Denzel Washington.
Exactly. LL in my head, I'm like, I'm thinking of the songs. I'm not saying,
Oh,
he's a great
yes.
actor, but I'm not even, it was more like a chill environment. So
Mhm.
there was no nervousness. And I don't really get nervous anyway, because I've been in the business my whole life. I've had
Mhm.
rejection my whole life. So there's no nervousness, but I do like his chill vibe, but he's been on the show for I don't know how many seasons. Of course he's chill. And he's just
Right.
trying to make everybody else chill and like, let me see about you. That's what it felt like. I'm like, what are you trying to get from me? Dude, like, you know what I mean? Are you trying to dig? Trying to make me nervous? It's not happening. Like,
And
let's just do the scene.
I know. And Men in Black 3. What was that like?
Whoa. Okay. I was a stunt double on that. That's what I
Really?
did. I was a stunt double for Nicole Scherzinger. I always mess up her last name. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my life, and I don't like to really talk about it because if the stunt coordinators really knew how I felt, being the only female, I was like
Wow.
sweating. I had to like go from
Right.
on a diagonal upside down in like 3 seconds. I don't know how
Ooh.
many miles per hour,
Oh my
but I
goodness.
was scared.
Oh
But I
my
couldn't show it.
goodness.
If I showed it, oh my God, I would have got fired. I had to lose a couple pounds. Like I had not a couple, a lot, because I had to be
Mhm.
the same weight as her. I was
That
just
she,
stunt double, you know?
Mhm.
But I'm grateful for it because thank you for the residuals. They still come,
Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was awesome. And it helped in other areas with like Fear the Walking Dead. I did
Mhm.
4 episodes of that. Of
Mhm.
being a stunt double. And thank God that was easy. They was just like fighting and getting
Right.
knocked out. I didn't have to, I don't really do stunts. Like I'm not trying to be lit on fire and jump out of a building in an
Jump up.
airplane. I'm okay. Easy stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you have had an interesting life. Just listening to you, and you just are just so bubbly, and I love it. I love it because I love to laugh, and I love to see people happy. And you seem like you're in a happy place now. Would you say that?
I would. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I got my
Yeah.
ups and downs.
Oh
I
yeah.
have to work on that. I work.
Mhm.
I work on it. I have to meditate every day. I have to surround myself around a certain type of people. I have to take my nature walks and hikes and focus back in. I don't listen to the news. I try to not listen to media. I don't believe in any of that, but we talk about that. I don't like to talk about stuff like that. I just want to let's have a great time in the moment. And that's it. But it takes work.
Yeah.
It's easy to
I
get sucked into social media stuff, and I post inspirational quotes. I hope I motivate people. I promote my projects, and then I leave it at that.
So then the next question comes, what's next for you, Don?
I kind of already sort of added it in there. We're waiting for Devada, which is the
Mhm.
film in Hawaii, to come out.
Yes.
There's another horror film, SOS, that I did a while back. But like I said, everybody kind of got stuck during the pandemic, whether it's financially or whatever the case may be. The Humble Hollywood with Chad podcast. Let's see where that goes. Everything is kind of like, let's see where this goes. And then the 3 projects that I have under Rocket Fuel Entertainment that I am a producer on. And I'll probably slide myself in as an actor in just little parts.
Come on. That's right.
And then the Belize one, Let Us Make Eve
Mhm.
with Mark Harris. And if anybody gets a chance, watch White People Money. It's a comedy. It's got
White people
Dora.
money.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's all over like Hulu and what's it on? It's on Stars.
Netflix is on Netflix too.
I don't know if it's on Netflix. Stars. But when I tell you Mark Harris hustles like no other, he has gotten on so many platforms, and it's a fun comedy. And we did it before the pandemic. And if you just want to laugh, there's some funny moments.
Well, I'm going to check it out. I am going to look for it tonight to continue to laugh. I just appreciate you so much for joining the show. I mean, you are just so full of life, and you're such a talented woman. And I just pray that God will continue to bless you, you know?
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And so tell us 3 words that describe you, Don.
I knew you were going to ask that because I listened to the other women. I already had them written down.
No, you
You know
did.
what? Yes, I did. If you stay
No.
ready, you don't have to get ready.
Come on, girl.
See,
Talking.
now I have them written down already.
Okay.
Empathetic,
Mm-hmm.
determined, loyal.
Determined and loyal.
Empathetic
Wow.
for sure. I am an empath.
Wow. Wow.
That is the most important. Empathetic, determined, and
Determined
loyal.
and loyal. I'm telling you, we have one of our viewers, Michelle. She says, so funny and real. This has been this. I just want to thank you because, you know, a woman like you, when you think of women in the business, a lot of times you don't take the time, or sometimes you don't even have the time to do this type of interview, especially at this time of the evening. And so I mean, I'm serious when I say, girl, I appreciate you. And it has been a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you.
Anytime. Anytime.
Anytime. Okay,
I love
y'all
to
hear
give
the
back and
production.
I love to inspire people.
Wow. And you know, I have young people who are students who are in the production team, and they're in the control room cutting up. They're laughing.
So right now?
Right now, they are listening to you, you know, and they are cutting up in there. But this is what it's all about, just so
Laugh.
we can help. And you know, it's just passing it forward, move, you know,
Amen. Yes.
giving it to everybody, the knowledge that you have, so that they can glean from you. And I've gleaned a lot from you about the business as well.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm here if you ever want to talk again.
Oh, Don.
That's one of my purposes. I don't just
Thank
have
you.
one. Gotta have more than one purpose.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Don.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Listen, you take care of yourself, and I will be calling you.
Sounds good.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, darling. All right. Let me tell you, I don't know if you all are getting this, but I am having the best time talking with women like Dawn, Rachel, Margaret, and Jewel. Just this was the first show of the Women's History Month series for this year. And I want to thank each of the women for being on the show, because I tell you what, without them, there wouldn't be a show. But without them, there wouldn't be things that we're doing, learning about the entertainment business, learning about being in business. And so again, I want to thank them, and I want to thank you for always tuning into the show. I tell you what, next week you're going to be wow. And when I tell you the next guests that are coming on next week, even more phenomenal. I mean, just phenomenal women all month long. So next week, I want you to join us, because we're going to be talking with Alelia Bundles, and she is the great granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker. And then we're going to be talking with Aria Elan. Aria is a lawyer, she's a singer and a songwriter, and she's coming with it. And just learning about these women. You know, we always hear about the obvious, but these women you don't hear about. And so we're going to be able to bring them to you. Again, I want to thank my producer, Alicia. I want to thank our assistant producers, Tiana, Willie, and Felicia, for all that they do. Please subscribe to the Tammy TV show on YouTube. That's the Tammy TV show. Hit that subscribe button. All right. So as I always say, let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. And don't forget, have a safe and wonderful rest of the week. Again, thank you for joining the show. Until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.